At the hospital, waiting for my son's surgery results. My brother texted Dad's 60th tonight. Don't bring your kid, he'll ruin the vibe. I replied, understood. 2 hours later. The surgeon said my son was stable. I made one phone call. When they arrived at the restaurant and saw the bill, the surgeon's name badge kept flashing in the fluorescent lights every time she turned past the double doors. I sat in the plastic chair by the vending machine with Liam's backpack under my feet and his stuffed dinosaur in my lap. My coffee had gone cold. My hands were shaking so badly I had to wrap both around the cup to keep it steady. My phone buzzed. Family group chat. Dad's 60th at 7 with a stream of confetti emojis and a blurry picture of the restaurant's private room. I had booked that room, paid the deposit, picked the menu. I should have muted the chat. I didn't. Evan, my brother Dad's 60th tonight. Don't bring your kid. He'll ruin the vibe. There were quick hearts from our cousins, a true from my sister Jenna, then Tori, my sister-in-law. Adults only. We want Dad to relax. Underneath that, Aunt Pam posted a boomerang of Evan's boys in party hats bouncing on her couch. I stared at the words, don't bring your kid. Not Liam, not his name. Your kid like he was a coat I could leave in the car. My throat tightened in that way it does when you're trying not to cry or yell. I could feel my pulse in my ears. I typed, understood. I put my phone face down. Across the hall, a TV was playing a daytime talk show with the volume way too high. A nurse I knew from nights gave me a sympathetic smile and slid a granola bar onto the seat beside me. He's still in recovery, she whispered. They'll be out soon. 2 hours later, the surgeon came out, cap line still on her forehead. Appendix was inflamed, but intact. We caught it early. He's stable. He's doing great. My whole body exhaled. He's great. Not ruined. Not a problem. I thanked her. I stayed there for a minute with my eyes closed, the dinosaur pressed to my chest, feeling my heart finally slow down. Then I picked up my phone and made one call. I'm Maddie, 37, Columbus, Ohio RN, on nights at Riverside. I'm good with charts and deadlines. I've always been good with money, not because I'm rich, but because I can make a budget stick. I'm a single mom to Liam 9. He's the kind of kid who says, excuse me, even when he doesn't need to. He sleeps with the window cracked for the sound of the wind. He draws little cities and then carefully labels the streets. My family calls me the responsible one. That meant I became the default wallet without anyone ever asking out loud. When Dad's truck broke down, I covered the $1.236 for the transmission until the tax refund. When Mom's internet got cut off, I put the $89.99 on autopay just for a month and then forgot to take it off for 3 years. When Evan was between jobs, I sent him $412 for his truck note for 3 months in a row. Jenna's bar prep, just a little help. That turned into $600 on my credit card for materials plus thanks sis and a winky face. It was easier than arguing, and honestly, I wanted us to be okay. I wanted to be the one who made things easier for everyone. That's what I told myself. I also told myself things about how they treated Liam. Little things at first. He'd hand Grandma a drawing and she'd smile and put it down. And then later it would be in the trash with the pizza boxes. Oops, she'd say. I didn't see it. At Christmas, all the grandkids had stockings with their names in glitter. His said guest. I said, oh, this must be a mistake. And Mom laughed and said, we ran out of the G's. He doesn't have a G in his name. At the 4th of July barbecue, there was a cousin's water balloon fight behind Grandpa's shed. When Liam ran out to join, Jenna said, no, we're doing oldest 4 only, so it's fair. Liam is the 5th oldest by 3 months. Later that day, Evan posted a group picture. Cousin's Day. Liam wasn't in it. He was in the kitchen, with me washing strawberries, humming to himself. Once at a mall play area, Tori whispered to me, he's just different. You know how some kids don't fit the vibe. It's okay. Like he was a chair that didn't match her couch. They always called him your kid, not Liam, not our Liam. My son has my eyes and my habit of tapping when he concentrates. He is my family. The first time Mom joked, he's not even a Martin, I said nothing. I smiled like it didn't matter because saying something meant a fight. And fights cost me more than money ever did. The money part had its own rhythm. Thursday mornings, $100 to Mom that started during Dad's chemo when I was happy to do it, and then never stopped after his remission. Plane tickets for Myrtle Beach last summer, $1,562 for 4 seats because we as a family need a break. I didn't go on the trip. Night shifts and school schedule clashed, so I stayed back with Liam. They sent me pictures of the ocean with captions like, Wish you were here while Liam and I ate pancakes and watched storms from our balcony. I paid the roofer's deposit in March when a storm took a few shingles. I covered the private room deposit for Dad's 60th this month. $500 charged $2, $500 projected for food and open bar depending on the head count. We couldn't do this without you, Mom said and kissed my cheek. That morning when Liam woke up with the stomach pain and that pale, pinched look, I took him in. When they said surgery, I texted the group. We may come by after if he's up to it. If not, I'll swing by for cake. Mom hearted the message. Evan replied, adults only, no worries. I assumed he meant late night drinks after. I assumed wrong. Standing there at the hospital with my understood, floating in the chat under Evan's, don't bring your kid, I thought about every little time I had let it slide. The guest stocking, the cousin's day, the coloring book from the dollar store while the other kids got tablets. I had told myself to focus on the good. Dad teaching Liam how to bait a hook. Aunt Dee always packing extra snacks with no questions, the times they asked how school was. The good existed, but it didn't cancel out the pattern. They were happy to take my deposits, my auto pays, I got it at the end of a bill. They called me amazing sister, best daughter, so generous. Meanwhile, my child was a vibe killer, not welcome at an event his mother had literally organized and financed. They'd been punishing me in little cuts, ever since I told them I wasn't getting back together with Liam's dad. Ever since I kept my last name. Ever since I said I didn't need a cosigner. Ever since I refused to move back home just for a year. It wasn't about one dinner. It was the sum of all of it. I felt stupid for not seeing it sooner. But sitting in a hospital chair next to a vending machine while my kids slept off anesthesia, the picture got clear. The surgeon left to check orders. I took a breath, found the number in my email, and stepped into the hallway where the cell service is always a tiny bit better if you stand near the window that looks out over the parking garage. Hi, this is Kelsey at Birch and Vine Events, the voice said after 2 rings. How can I help? Hi, Kelsey. It's Maddie Martin for the Martin party tonight. Private room at 7. I'm the card on file. Oh, hi, Maddie, she said. We're all set for 22. We've got the cake from bakery number 5 in the cooler. How's your dad today? He'll be fine, I said, because Dad is almost always fine when people can see him. Kelsey, I need to make a change. Please remove my card as the payment method for tonight. There was a pause, then her professional voice. Okay, we can do separate checks or one bill to the host when they arrive. Separate checks for each household, I said. My voice came out calm, not loud, not shaky. Make the bar cash, no open tab. Keep the room and the deposit. Consider the deposit my gift. I can do that. I'll email you a form to confirm removing authorization. We'll still put your name on the cake note. Please write. Happy 60 Dad. Love, Maddie and Liam. I said the words catching right around Liam. Done, she said. I'll send the confirmation now. I watched the email arrive. Subject payment authorization removed. Then I tapped the form and signed with my finger. Screenshots saved to files. Not because I expected a fight, but because I'm a nurse and we document everything. Thanks, Kelsey. I appreciate your help. We've got you. Hope everything's okay. I hung up. I didn't text the group, I didn't write FYI or a paragraph about respect, I didn't announce anything at all. I went back to Liam's bay where he was waking up blinking, in that way kids do, after anesthesia, like the lights are too bright and the world is too loud. Hey buddy, I said, brushing his hair off his forehead, you did great. Thirsty, he whispered. I held the little cup, watched him take slow sips. His hand was warm in mine. The monitor beeped steadily. I thought of him, at that restaurant table, knees swinging excited to hand Grandpa the silly card he made, with the number 6 drawn like a fishing hook. I thought of Evan's words. Ruin the vibe. I looked at my son and decided his vibe is the only one I will ever protect without apology. Around 7, my phone vibrated nonstop and I let it. The room smelled like rubbing alcohol and oranges from the little juice cups. A volunteer stopped in with a blanket and a smile. The world narrowed to the small square of space that had my kid in it. This wasn't retaliation. It wasn't a stunt. It was clarity. They don't get my money if they don't make room for my child. That's the cost of admission. Not an angry rule. A simple fact. At 7:12, a text from Aunt Dee popped up separate from the group. Saw that message. I'm sorry, honey. I'm here if you need me. Liam's okay, I wrote back. We're staying in. Good, she sent. I'll stop by tomorrow with muffins. The group chat kept bubbling. A cousin. Where are you? They're asking for card. Mom, where are you? A picture of the private room with the big window balloons I chose tied to the chairs, the cake box in the corner. I set the phone down again. Liam fell back asleep with the dinosaur under his chin. I pulled the curtain a little more closed. The decision sat next to me like a third presence. Quiet, solid, not mean right. By 9, my phone was a storm. 22 missed calls, 6 voicemails, too many texts to count. I skimmed enough to understand. Mom, the manager says there's no card on file. Evan, is this a joke? Tori, they're saying cash bar. You're making us look trashy. Jenna, you're paying the bill. We agreed. Send them your card. Cousin Maya, it's split checks now. The table's mad. Dad, finally, where are you? Your mother is upset. I typed one message into the group and sent it. Liam had surgery today. He's fine and sleeping. I won't fund a family my kid isn't part of. Enjoy the dinner. The deposit and cake are my gift. For a minute it was quiet, then the flood. You're dramatic from Jenna. You humiliated Dad from Tori. You've always been selfish from Mom. We didn't bring wallets for this from Aunt Pam. You're letting your ex control you from Evan, which made me snort because my ex's most controlling move lately was picking an awful new haircut. I put the phone on Do Not Disturb. Dad called the next morning while I was making Liam scrambled eggs and toast cut into triangles. He didn't say hello. You pulled your card. I removed my card, I said. Yes. You could have told me, he said. His voice was dull, tired. It wasn't about you, I said. It was about Liam. If my child isn't welcome at a table, my money isn't either. He would have been bored, Dad said. We were keeping it adult. You had Evan's boys there, I said. I kept my voice low. Liam was on the couch watching cartoons with the volume barely audible. That's different, he said. They're little. He's 9, I said. He's family. There was a long pause. You hurt your mother, he said finally, like that was the trump card. She hurt my son, I said. Or she allowed it. Either way, I'm not paying for it. You always make everything about you, he said. I made one thing about Liam, I said. Going forward, if he's not included, neither am I. That's all. He huffed, muttered something about overreacting, and hung up. At noon, Mom showed up at my door with a foil pan of baked ziti, like apology can be layered with ricotta. She didn't ask about Liam. She started with, You embarrassed me. We looked like we couldn't afford dinner on your father's birthday. I put the ziti on the counter. How was the cake, I asked. It was fine, she said. You shouldn't have written his name on it. People ask questions. I felt something inside me go so still I could hear the refrigerator hum. Mom, I said, read my lips. I'm not your backup bank. I will not fund a family my kid isn't part of. If you want my money, you make a seat for Liam. If you want my presents, you say his name. You're being cruel, she said. You know Evan and Jenna don't have the money you do. I work nights and pick up doubles, I said. Money didn't fall on me from the sky. And it's not about the money. It's about respect. She tried tears. We did our best with you. I believe you, I said, and I meant it. They did their best with what they knew, and now I'm doing mine. She left the ziti. I shut the door softly behind her. Around dinner, Aunt Dee texted. I paid my check left after the toast. The manager said Evan Venmo'd from his phone for their half of their half. Tori cried. It was a lot, but honey, it needed to happen. Thanks for paying yours, I wrote. You didn't have to tell me that. I want you to know you're not crazy, she wrote. Call me if you want company tomorrow. I sat on the rug with Liam and built a lopsided Lego hamburger. He concentrated on the lettuce pieces like it was surgery. He was himself again, color back in his face. He didn't ask about the party. He asked if we could make banana bread. We could. In between stirring and scraping the bowl, my phone buzzed on the counter with one more group message from Jenna. So is Thanksgiving canceled too, if we say adults only? I wiped my hands, picked up the phone and typed, You can host whatever you want. I'll be where my kid is. Welcome. Send. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. The boundary is the boundary. It stands even when I'm tired. 2 weeks later on a Sunday, I set 2 extra chairs at my tiny dining table and left them empty. Not as a punishment, as a reminder. One for Grandma, one for Grandpa. If they wanted to come, there was space. If they didn't, there was still enough love in the room. Aunt Dee came with a pan of brownies and her daughter Maya trailing a bag of board games. My neighbor Mike from down the hall brought over garlic bread because he'd smelled my sauce. And you don't let someone's garlic bread go to waste. The table was mismatched and perfect. Paper napkins, the nice plates I found on clearance, a vase with grocery store tulips Liam talked me into at checkout. We passed bowls. We laughed about nothing in particular. Liam told Maya about his Lego city. She asked real questions, not oh neat, and he lit up. I caught him glancing at the empty chairs once. He didn't say anything. Neither did I. Some silences are gentle. After dinner, he pulled out a drawing he'd made while he was home recovering. It was a long table with lots of small circles for faces and a big cake on one end that said, Everyone welcome. He'd written Grandpa above a seat and Grandma above another, and me, in careful block letters under a little stick figure with spiky hair like his. He handed it to me, like something fragile. "Can we put it on the fridge?" he asked. "Front and center," I said, and used 2 magnets so it wouldn't curl. Later, when I was cleaning up, I tucked the hospital bracelet into a drawer with the printed email from Birch and Vine. Not a trophy, a record. The night I decided my son and I would not pay to be tolerated. The calls slowed, the texts got shorter. Aunt Dee sent me pictures when she saw my parents, so I'd still know Dad's tomatoes were coming in, and the dog had started limping on his back leg. Evan and Jenna went quiet, except for a passive-aggressive meme here and there. That's fine. Silence is cheaper than resentment. I redirected my energy to soccer practice signups, to saving for the class field trip, to making banana bread the way Liam likes it with extra cinnamon. When invitations came with adults only, or just the cousins, I wrote back, "We'll catch the next one," and meant it. When they came with Bring Liam, we showed up on time with a side dish and a kid who says thank you without being told. I'm not angry when I walk past those 2 empty chairs. I'm not triumphant either. I'm a nurse. I know a boundary is like a clean dressing. It protects what's healing underneath. You change it when you need to. You don't pick at it. You let the skin do its job. I won't fund a family my kid isn't part of. Say his name, save him a seat, or pay your own bill. The rest is simple.